Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 113 of Yuddha Kanda. In the previous chapters, we saw the death of Ravana in the hands of Rama, the end of the war. That was followed by lamentation by Vibhishana, who is the blood brother of Ravana, the younger brother of Ravana. And that was followed by the consorts of Ravana, the women from his harem, who rushed into the warfield, seeing the dead body of Ravana. They were lying on it and lamenting. While the consorts of Ravana were lamenting thus, the foremost among them steadily fixed on him a tender and sorrowful glance, and in the presence of her lord Dashagriva, who had been slain by Rama of inconceivable exploits, the unfortunate Mandodari expressed her grief in this wise. O long armed warrior, younger brother of Vaishravana, did not Purandara himself fear to stand before you in your wrath, and did not the great rishis and illustrious Gandharvas, as also the Charanas, assailed by you, flee to every quarter? Now Rama, who is just but a mortal, has defeated you in combat. You who did surpass the three worlds in prowess, you whose strength rendered you invincible, how is it that you have fallen under the blows of a mere man, a wanderer in the forest? You able to assume any form at will, living in a place inaccessible to man. How can you get defeated by Rama? Please explain. Nay, I do not believe that you were struck down in the forefront of the battle by Rama's action. You who were ever won't be victorious in all circumstances, rather having recourse to inconceivable magic. Was it destiny in the form of Rama in person, or it may be that it was Vasava who slew you? O mighty hero, would Vasava have ventured to stand face to face with you on the battlefield in view of your great prowess and strength? You, the enemy of the celestials, assuredly, it was the great yogi, the supreme soul, the eternal spirit, who was your slayer. He who has no beginning, middle, or end, the most high and greater than Mahat, the support of nature, he who carries the conch, the discus, and the mace, whose breast bears the Srivatsa mark, to whom prosperity belongs, the invincible, indestructible, everlasting Vishnu, the true hero, assuming human form, surrounded by all the gods in monkey shapes. He, the Lord of the worlds, has slain you, you, the enemy of the gods, with your kinsmen and the Titans who attended on you. Formerly, having subdued the senses, you did conquer the three worlds, and thereafter your senses conquered you in their turn. Rama is no mere mortal. Once in Janasthana, he slew your brother Kara and the innumerable titans who followed him. Furthermore, when Hanuman audaciously penetrated into the city of Lanka, inaccessible to the gods themselves, we were sorely distressed. How of that how often did I address you, saying, have we nothing to fear from Raghava? But you did not heed me. These are the consequences. Without cause, you did cherish passion for Sita, O king of the Titans, to the destruction of your kingdom, life, and race. By offering insult to the illustrious Sita, who surpasses Arundhati and Rohini, you did commit an unpardonable offense. She is more patient than the earth itself, prosperity itself, the beloved consort of Rama of faultless limbs, who was the splendor of the lonely forest where she dwelt. By bearing that unfortunate one away, assuming a disguise, and without being able to enjoy the anticipated delight of union with Maithili, you have brought about your own destruction. O my lord, the asceticism of that lady faithful to her husband has consumed you. Since all the gods and their leaders with Agni at their head feared you, you were not instantly destroyed when you did lay brutal hands on that slender waisted lady. But, O Lord, when the time is ripe, the one who acts wickedly reaps the fruit of his evil actions. Of that there is no doubt. He who behaves virtuously culls felicity, and he who acts sinfully reaps ill fortune. Vibhishana has found happiness, and you, in the same wise, has met with disaster. You did possess other women who surpassed mightily in beauty, but in your infatuation you did not perceive it. None dies without a determining cause. For you, it was none other than Sita. For did you go seek that woman who was to be the reason of your death? Now Maithili, released from all her sufferings, will rejoice with Rama. Trifling indeed is my merit, since I have fallen into this ocean of grief. I, who formerly sported on Mount Kailasa, Mandara, and Meru, and in the woods of Taitraratha, and all the gardens of the gods with you, have been adorned with marvelous garlands and jewels, roaming at large in a chariot of incomparable magnificence, beholding innumerable countries, while now I am deprived of all pleasures and enjoyment by your death. O hero, here am I transformed as it were into another, condemned on account of the fluctuations of the fortunes of kings. O prince, how gracious were you with your charming eyebrows, brilliant complexion, and arched nose, you whose beauty, splendor, and radiance rivaled the moon, the lotus, and the sun, dazzling with innumerable diadems and variegated garlands, your red lips and brilliant earrings, handsome and pleasing, those glances misty with wine, rode here and there in the banqueting hall, conversing with tender smiles. Alas, today your countenance has lost its radiance, O king, mutilated as you are by Rama's shafts, red with blood, covered with flesh and brains, and soiled with the dust of chariots. Oh, the final period of my life has come, the sad state of widowhood. Wretched am being that I am, I never contemplated this. My father is the king of the Danavas, my consort the lord of the Titans, my son the conqueror of Shakra. I have nothing to fear with such protectors who crush the arrogance of their enemies, who are terrible and renowned for their might and courage. Thus did I speak in my pride. With such a power as you possessed, O bull among titans, how was so great a disaster overtaken you suddenly, though a mere man? You were like a marvelous sapphire, enormous like unto a mountain, and dazzling with your rings, bracelets, chains of emeralds and pearls, and your flowery garlands, full of gaiety in pastimes and enjoyments. Your body that shone with the luster of your ornaments as a cloud riven with lightning is now pierced by many arrows, ill fitted to be embraced without a space that is not bristling with darts, like unto an hedgehog. The muscles torn with shafts, loosed with violence on your vital parts, corpse lying on the earth that was formerly dark in hue and is now the color of blood. O king, alas, that which seemed a dream has now become a reality. How was Rama able to strike you down, you who were death to death itself, when it comes to that you have fallen under his sway? You who enjoyed the wealth of the three worlds, whom you did inspire with a lively fear, you who conquered the guardians of the worlds, who overcame Shakra with your prowess, with your shafts, who did humble the proud and manifest your great prowess. You who did trouble the universe, the scourge of the virtuous, those strength inspired you to utter insolent threats in the enemy's presence. You, the support of your family and your attendants, the slayer of unredoubtable warriors. You who exterminated the leaders of the Danavas and Yakshas in their thousands, you who triumphed in the fight over those wearing impenetrable armor, you who many a time obstructed the sacrifices, you the savior of your race, who set at nothing the laws of duty, who took refuge in the power of magic in battle. You robbed the gods, asuras, the men of their daughters from here and there, and who did plunge the wives of your enemies into mourning. You, the guide of your people who ruled over the island of Lanka. You, the perpetrator of dreadful deeds. You who did prepare for us many a pleasure and enjoyment. You, the foremost of warriors, beholding you, O Lord, who despite your great powers has been struck down by Rama. My heart must be hard indeed that I yet live bereft of you, my beloved, having rested on sumptuous couches, O King of the Titans. How is it that you are now sleeping on the earth, the dust you are coverlet? When my illustrious son Indrajita was struck down by Lakshmana in the fight, I was deeply distressed, but today I am undone. I, who already bereft of parents and kinsfolk, now lose my lost support in you. Deprived of pleasure and enjoyment, now that you have left in the lost journey from which none returns. O King, I shall waste away in your perpetual remembrance. I cannot live without you. Take me with you. Why do you leave me in my misery? Are you vexed to see me unveiled, who have crossed the city boundary to run here on foot? O Lord, look on your cherished consorts who have discarded their wheels. Seeing them all come forth from the city, are you not displeased? This company with whom you did disport yourself is desolate, deprived of its leader, and you do not comfort them. Have you no reverence for us, those women whom you have widowed, O king? And more than one was of noble lineage, who were devoted to their consorts, firm in their duty, and submissive to their gurus. In their grief, have cursed you, and on this account you have fallen under the blows of your adversary. Taken by you, they have cursed you, and this is the retribution. O king, the truth of the saying, the tears of women devoted to their husband do not fall on the earth in vain, has been proved by you. How come it, O king, that you who did surpass all the worlds in valor were so base as to carry off this woman, having lured Rama from the hermitage with the aid of an illusory deer? In the intoxication of your strength, you did bear away Rama's consort after separating her from Lakshmana But yet, if I reflect carefully, you were never faint hearted warrior. This is the manifest proof of the changeability of fortune, conversant with the past and future, and reflecting on the present. That long armed warrior, my truthful brother in law, seeing mightily whom you had borne away, sighing deeply, told me that what had taken place, destruction of the foremost of the Titans, has been brought about by this infatuation, which was the source of your lust and anger. You did sacrifice your real interest to this violent appetite that destroys everything to its very roots, and by this action, the whole Titan race is deprived of its leader. Nay, I should not weep for you, though famed for your strength and valor, but my woman's nature inclines my heart to compassion, bearing with you the sum of that which you have done, be it good or ill. You have gone to the place for which you were destined. It is for myself I should lament, I who am plunged in affliction by your loss. You did not give ear to your friends who desired your welfare, and though exceedingly sagacious, you did ignore the counsels of your brothers, O ten-necked one. Vibhishana's words, so full of reasons that were measured, prudent, salutary, and affectionate, were not heeded by you, despite their significance. Drunk with your own power, the utterances of Maricha, Kumbhakarna, and of your father also were not acceptable to you. Behold consequences. O you who resembles a dark cloud in hue, who are clothed in yellow, wearing dazzling bracelets, why are your limbs stiff and covered with blood? You freed sleep, why do you not answer me, who am overcome with grief? Why do you not speak to me, the daughter of the supremely powerful Yatudhana Sumali, who never retreated in battle? Rise, rise! Why do you remain lying there in the face of this fresh insult? Today the rays of the sun fall on Lanka without fear. Your mace, that brilliant weapon enriched with gold, like unto Surya, with which you did exterminate your enemies in battle, resembling the thunderbolt of Indra, which you did wield at your whim to the destruction of the many on the battlefield, now lies shattered in 1,000 pieces by Rama's arrows. Why do you lie embracing the earth like a loved one? How is it that you do not address a word to me as if I were no longer your beloved? Woo unto me, whose heart did not split into 1,000 pieces, riven by grief, when you did return to the five elements. Thus did Mandodari lament, her eyes full of tears, and thereafter, her heart overflowing with love, she swooned away, falling unconscious on Ravana's breast, like a flash of lightning striking a crimson clouded dust. Thereupon her companions, distressed, raised up her who was lamenting, and placing her in their midst, they said, O Queen, are you not conversant with the uncertainty of fate in this world, and how in a moment fortune of kings may change? To these words Mandodari replied with sobs and cries, her pure and lovely face and her breast bathed in tears. Then Rama said to Vibhishana, proceed with the obsequies of your brother and offer consolation to his wives. Thereafter, the sagacious Vibhishana, having reflected within himself, made this answer that was discreet, reasoned, and in conformity with duty and understanding, saying, I cannot perform the funeral duty for one who failed to fulfill his responsibilities, and his vows, who was cruel, ruthless, and disloyal, a ravisher of others' wives. Under the guise of a brother, he was my enemy and took pleasure in inflicting injury. Ravana does not merit this homage. The world may say to me he was a barbarian, but when they learn of Ravana's wicked deeds, everyone will approve my conduct. Thus did he speak, and Rama, full of joy for his words, foremost of those who are firm in their duty, answered Vibhishana, who was skilled in speech, saying, I seek your welfare, since with your aid I have been victorious. Nevertheless, it is essential that I should utter what is fitting. O chief of the Titans, though unjust and wicked, this Night Ranger was very energetic, valiant, and courageous in war. It is said that the gods with Shatakratu at their head were not able to overcome him. He was magnanimous and powerful. This oppressor of the world, death brings enmity to an end. We have accomplished our purpose. Let us perform the obsequies. It is it is good for me as well as for you to do so. In accord with tradition, this ceremony should take place in your presence. Perform this pious act speedily. You will receive much glory therefrom. At these words of Raghava, Vibhishana hastened to carry out the funeral rites. Entering the city of Lanka, that Indra among the Titans, Vibhishana began to prepare for the Agnihotra ceremony in honor of his brother. Gods wood of varying essences, fire utensils, sandal, logs of every kind, fragrant gums, perfumes, clothes, jewels, pearls, and coral were all assembled by him, and he soon returned surrounded by Titans, whereupon, accompanied by Malyavan, he initiated the sacrifice. Having placed Ravana, the supreme lord of the Titans, wrapped in linen cloths on a golden bier, the twice born with Vibhishana as their head, their eyes suffused with tears, rise the litter decorated with many fragrant and divine symbols to the sound of innumerable musical instruments and funeral chants. And all turning their faces towards the south, took up pieces of wood which had been distributed among them. When the Brahmins versed in the Yajurveda wearing flaming brands went forward, and those who had taken refuge with them, and the women of the inner apartments followed, sobbing with tottering steps, running here and there, and Ravana was placed in a spacious ground amid profound lamentation, and a great fire was built with pieces of sandal and padmaka wood and grass, according to tradition, and he was covered with antelope skins. Thereafter, in honor of the kings of the Titans, a rare offerings was made to the ancestors, and the altar was installed to the southwest with a sacred fire in its proper place. Then curd and clarified butter was poured on Ravana's shoulder, and the wooden mortar placed at his feet, with one between his thighs. Vessels of wood and the lower and upper kindling stick with a spare pestle were set there according to the prescribed rules. Now the Titans sacrificed a goat in honor of their king according to tradition as taught by the great rishis. And having dipped a cloth in butter, they covered the face of their sovereign, who was adorned with garlands and sprinkled with perfumes. Thereafter, Vibhishana's companions, their faces bathed in tears, covered the body with clothes and every kind of roasted grain, whereupon Vibhishana kindled the fire according to the sacred rites, and having laved him with a cloth, which had been previously wetted with water and mingled with linseed and sacrificial grass. He bowed down to him. Then he addressed the consorts of Ravana again and again in order to console them, finally entreating them to return home. And when they had all re entered the city of Lanka, that Indra among the Titans took up his place by Rama in an attitude of reverence. Rama, however, with his army, Sugriva and Lakshmana, rejoiced at the death of his enemy as the god who bears thunderbolt on the destruction of Vritra. Having laid aside the arrows and bow that Mahendra had bestowed upon him, as also the massive armor, Rama, the slayer of his enemies, renounced his wrath, his adversary having been subdued, and once more assumed a gentle mind. Thus come to the end chapter 113 of Yuddha Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Tamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Dananchati Me.